This is Matthew Head, and you're watching Woo TV.
I want to go back to the start of Dreams, which was your first major opportunity in which you composed the score. The documentary was directed by the Horn Brothers. The film featured Viola Davis, Denzel Washington, to name a few. As of recent, there have been protests in Hollywood under the moniker Oscars So White, where people of color and non white films were getting fewer nominating opportunities than their white counterparts. For example, both Viola and Denzel Washington were nominated respectfully for Fences. She ultimately won for Best Supporting Actress. Are you starting to see a sea change this year with, say, films like Moonlight beating out La La Land for Best Picture? Or was this Hollywood's way of appeasing, or is this finally an admission of the quality of directorship, writing, and production brought to cinema?
Everything, all of it. We live in a political world, and it's okay to understand that we live in a political world. And there are certain things that are going to happen politically to appease others. And I tell others, ride the train. Also, I do feel as if that African Americans have been, and we've built this country. And so if we built the country, we can do a lot of other things as well. And I think it's starting to come to light. And it's a good time for us to take advantage of it. And I say take advantage of it, literally use it in the right way. And the Viola Davises, the Denzel Washingtons, those who have the Pharrells, who have the ear right now of Hollywood, the Donald Glovers, the Issa Rae, they have the ear. Myself, I have an ear right now, and it's up to me to take advantage of it because we don't have to be here, and it's been proven that we don't have to be here. You know, it's been shown in a certain way that you don't have to be here. You know, we can make something else happen, and I think right now is our perfect time and opportunity to take advantage of it. But I also understand the political side of things, and try not to overthink, and try just to do the work and work as hard as I can, so my child doesn't have to deal with the stuff I deal with. Because my parents did it for me. I've experienced racism on a small scale, but my dad experienced racism on a big scale. My grandfather experienced racism on a bigger scale, and my great-grandfather was a slave. So at the end of the day, I understand that we're only so far removed from that time. You know, it's 2017. My dad is 64 years old. 1968, my high school integrated blacks.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where it's not that far removed. My dad was the third class to graduate from my high school that I went to school in. Third, they have blacks in it, so African Americans in the class. So my parents and my grandparents will try to instill in me that you're not separate, you're not far removed from where you are. So take advantage of opportunities now. So as African Americans in Hollywood, we need to take advantage of it and not try to politicize it even more.
Right.
Let's just put our heads down and work.
Right.
Make quality films and quality entertainment, and use our riches for good, use our gifts for good, and lend out other opportunities to other African Americans.
Right. So it's not the lack of talent; it's lack of opportunity.
Yes. Talent's always been there. Lack of opportunity, lack of resources. No one told me about film composition.
Right.
I wasn't told about making music for film. I was told about making beats.
But not in the classical sense. Not in
the classical sense, but not in a score sense. You know,
right.
Let's think about it. Most of your film composers and music execs are white. In the entertainment industry, in the film industry.
Right.
And most of your film composers and music composers in the film side are old and white.
I'm glad you
So
brought. I'm glad you
they
because I
don't
want to.
retire. It's easy.
Yeah,
They don't
I
retire.
want to transition into, film scoring blockbuster movies. And it seems to be that there is an underlying prejudice against non-white composers, like Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman. Are they? Is it because that they're household names with a proven track record, or you know, how do we get more diversity in this area? Do you think is it a financing issue of creating these
Well,
projects,
I
or
think no
just
one knows about it. I think is they are household names. Danny Elfman, Hans Zimmer, they are household names. I mean, they are blockbuster film composers that hire other composers as well to bring in and get their sound. But there's no one talking to a young black boy about scoring films for television. There, no one's telling them that. It's not in our schools. They're telling our young black boys to play basketball and play football and rap and dance and make a beat. But no one's saying you can make music for film. No one's saying you can be the cameraman for film. No one's saying you can be the lighting guy for film. I'm on set and I'm up for Greenleaf and I'm looking around and I'm like, wow, there's so many jobs on this one episode. It's an hour, it's a 45-minute long episode. Take out 15 minutes for commercials. It's a 45-minute episode and I'm seeing at least 100 jobs on the set. It's not a lot of us on the set, African Americans, and I feel as if it's because either we're not being told or we're not researching. The only reason why I am a film composer because a white person told me, and I say that not to be funny, but I would make music and I would submit my music, and a white young lady or a white lady told me, "Your music sounds so cinematic. You should go into film composition."
wow?
I said, "Huh?" And I met the Horn brothers, and that was my first opportunity. And I listened to because they asked me, "Do you know how to score films?" And I said, "Yes," because of what someone else told me. But everybody else told me to make beats.
Wow.
And that's why I feel as if that's the difference of taking advantage of your opportunity. I love to see that Pharrell Williams is getting into the film composition realm. I love to see that. I love the fact that he's wanting to be a part of more of the back end of the music instead of just this music soundtrack. I talk to some directors now, and they don't know what the difference between a soundtrack and a score is. But they're directing films.
And he did work with Pharrell did
Hans.
work with Hans Zimmer on Hidden Figures.
Yes, on Hidden Figures. He also worked with Hans on Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, he did. So it's one of those things where I think is not knowing what it is, and not understanding what it is. And I think
So do you, not to interrupt, do you think the onus is on us in the African American community to pass down these opportunities as far as providing the education, the awareness?
well, my son now knows that there's music on television. Every time he sees television, he asks me if that's my music. And the only way he knows that is I told him that. So my son now knows that, Daddy, is that your music? No, that's not my music. Oh yes, that's my music. So now he understands that there's music on TV, there's music on the radio. The only way he knows there's music on TV and the radio is because I told him that, and he experiences that. So now I feel as if as African Americans, we should pass that on the information.
Right.
There's other things you should be doing.
And creating opportunities.
Yes, you do not have to bounce the ball.
Yeah.
You do not. You can be the doctor for the guy who bounces the ball. You do not have to rap. You could be the lighting guy or the videographer or the director for the guy who raps. You do not have to dance.
Or you can own the production company.
Exactly. And the best way to own it is if you know what it is.
Right.
And I think that's the lack of resources plays a role into it. But I didn't grow up in a classical side family. I played piano. And I just put two and two together. And I understood my lane. I understood my role. But I think a lot of it is, as African Americans, we don't understand that we have all the power. We just have to use it. And not to say better or worse, but understand, really, that you have all the tools as much as possible at this age, at this time now, because it will change or it can change.
Right.
So use it to the best of your ability. Tell your children, tell our children that it's not all about being rich.
Right.
It's about being wealthy.
Wealthy. Right. Creating wealth.
Creating wealth. I want my grandchildren to eat off of me. Forget my sons, he gonna be all right. My son gonna be okay.
Right.
I'm gonna be all right because I'm 35.
Right.
My son gonna be all right because he's living under what I gave him. But I need my son's children to be okay.
Right.
So the only way I can do that is let him know how to get there.
Gotta get that. Wow. And I want to be able to kind of build on what we're talking about now and transition into Atlanta. According to the Motion Picture Association of America, the Georgia film industry currently ranks third in the nation behind California and New York, with nearly 3,000 motion picture and television industry businesses, including over 1,900 production-related companies, with a direct spend of $2.2 billion. The economic impact was more than $7 billion in fiscal year 2016, up from $244 million just 9 years ago. There are about 25,000 Georgians who are in film and television production business, another 30,000 who are indirectly related. We have Tyler Perry Studios, Pinewood Atlanta Studios, university and college systems such as SCAD. Many professionals such as Tyler Perry and yourself say Georgia is the Hollywood of the South. Does Hollywood still control the purse strings for big blockbuster movies, or is Atlanta poised to take over by providing the infrastructure, production talent, and tax incentives?
Yeah, Atlanta is on its way. I always says Atlanta's on the bubble of what it was back in 89, 90 with the music industry. When the music industry hit Atlanta around 1989, 1990, when you had your Baby Faces and you had your L.A. Reeds, they caught the wave of the transition of where music came from the L.A., Detroit, New York. It came back to the South. And Atlanta opened up doors for Houston, Miami. And so those kind of things are happening now in the film world. Of course, Hollywood is pulling the strings because all the production is still done in Hollywood.
Right, they still write the checks.
They still write the checks. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, these companies starting to realize I can come to Atlanta and I can come to Georgia, I can come to the Southeast and get the same quality of work and get it cheaper.
Right.
One thing about the Southeast, you get four seasons. You get a winter, summer, spring, and fall.
Right.
You got a diverse population of AfricanAmerican, Hispanics, white, Asian, all in one area.
Right.
You got a metropolitan side of things.
Right.
You don't have to build your set.
Right.
You can have your set here. You have beaches, you have rural, you have country, you have urban.
Right.
It's all right here in the Southeast, and Atlanta is just considered the biggest city in the Southeast. It's one of those ways of opening up its doors, and I love it. And so Hollywood's still pulling the strings because it's Hollywood. You know, Hollywood's not going anywhere. I tell people all the time, Hollywood is never going away. Hollywood is Hollywood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I will be in LA sometime soon, one day, to work. It is what it is. It's not one of those things where it's going to just fall off the map. But I think the options are opening a little bit more for production companies to say, let's go out east, let's go to Georgia because it is cheaper. It is, and the talent is here as well. And now that the governor, hopefully, with the bill, with the music and the post production, it will open up more waves of income for post. Instead of doing all your work here and flying it back to LA to do your post, let's all do it right here.
And do you feel that with the opportunities here in Georgia that will help foster some entrepreneurial prospects within the African American community to kind of like going back to the LA Baby Faces?
Yes, because it's a bubble.
Yeah,
it's right now. Atlanta is at the bubble. It's at the point where it's about to pop. And if you're not in a position in the right place, I mean, Jermaine Dupri, Dallas Austin, they were right there at the right time at the right place and caught that wave. And it spawned billions of dollars and a lot of jobs and a lot of careers. I feel like Atlanta is the same way. And so I'm trying to position myself to the point where I am the go-to guy in the music side. I don't need to be in LA. I'm right here.
So you wouldn't, move your family out to LA?
No.
You would. You would probably be
I'll
bi-coastal.
go, yeah, but
but
this Atlanta's my home.
that's your home base.
I still live in Marietta.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Georgia Bird, right.
But no, yeah, because in my heart of hearts, you don't have to. There's players out here. There's actors, actresses out here, post production. It's just right here in our backyard, and I think it just takes time for Hollywood to see that, or the powers that be to see that, and I think they're starting to see it just a little bit. And I want to make sure that my job as a composer, a musician, a music producer, is to shed light on that. It's not just about acting. We can do it. We can bring it all here, and we'll do it right here, and you can have a full blown fledged of music and production and a full-blown film, and it's happening slowly but surely, but it's happening
because obviously the infrastructure is here. So
the infrastructure is here. Is here. Musicians are here, actors, everything's here, and it's just one of those things where we're prepared to take it. And I think right now Atlanta's starting to become, like I said, that bubble, and we're going to catch it. And I mean, even North Carolina, I have some out in Charlotte. South Carolina's getting a good film buzz because of the Charleston area, and
I think Louisiana too.
Louisiana is huge, but Louisiana has some competition. New Orleans has some competition because of Savannah. I can go to Savannah, and get the same look, the same feel.
Right.
Of course, you got Florida for its beaches. Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee for the mountains, Georgia for the rural area and the city life.
So everything's kind of in that region. Here. It's regional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's right here. And it's easy to travel, keep everybody in one spot.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks for watching this video. We hope you have found this to be engaging and thought-provoking. Please hit like and subscribe for updates. You'll find more videos like this on the thumbnail links on your screen.